anti-lag mode enabled, off the throttle. Go! Wow! Wow! Whoa! What fun is this? So, Aaron's GR Yaris. We have done quite a lot to this car. Last year it had an engine built, turbo kit, inlet manifold, fuel system, mapping. This year, sequential, exhaust. This car's had quite an extensive history with us and quite a lot of modifications, but you will see how this car performs and you will enjoy how this car performs. I've very much enjoyed driving the car and testing the car, and thank you, Aaron, again for bringing the car to us to have the work carried out at a high standard, because that's all what we want to offer you here at SRD Tuning, is giving you the best service, quality workmanship, taking time and caring about your pride and joy, improving it over OEM and stock, and giving you some confidence and support after sales as well. But with its G25 550 and its manifold and AirTech parts and AirTech intercooler, oil cooler, header tank, and our fuel system, intake kit, and how we've assembled the car, tuned it and dialed it in with the sequential, it's incredible. It really is an incredible car. So make sure you watch the whole video and we'll take it out for a test drive and make sure it is set up perfect. We're smashing it at the moment with the GRs. I really enjoy working on them. The boys really enjoy working on them. Sean's actually going to be pulling the engine out of this GR. This car we built last year. It's got one of my engines, so it has been built, it has been balanced, it's got all the right bits in it, it's been put together well, and he absolutely beats the granny out of this car. Like, it really, really beats the granny out of it. So I'm going to do an oil filter change and oil, and I'm going to cut the filter open and have a look inside, making sure the engine is living and is healthy. One GR Yaris subframe out of the car. So this is our 680 kilogram adjustable table. It's the easiest way to do this operation of dropping the engine and gearbox out in one go. All we've got to do now is the engine mount bolts. So we've got 4 bolts here, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the gearbox. We've also got 3 here, 1, 2, 3 for this side, and then we've got the one at the back of the gearbox, which is on the subframe, which is already off. What's the hardest bit about taking the engine out of a GR?
To be honest, it's all been pretty good.
It's all pretty seamless, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? That's the benefit of working on a newer car as well. It's nothing's too seized up or
nothing snaps.
Nothing snaps, nothing's been too bastardised by anyone else over many years of ownership as well.
It's all very modular though, isn't it? Like all the ECU stuff's modular, all the fuse box all modular. I know what the hardest thing to do on the GR is, and that's anything behind the back of the engine on turbo.
True.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
I imagine that's fine.
So the reason, one of the reasons why the engine's coming out is because it's having a gearbox, but also it's because it's got an exhaust blow. We just fold everything back up and tie it all to the engine. You can see his cable ties holding all the looms and stuff, and then get everything all to the centre of the engine, and then it just all comes out in one go. But you do have to have the big sodding great table to be able to do it. That's key on this, is making sure you've got a decent table, because without it you're screwed. One engine and gearbox out the GR, not too bad. Oh, I see the problem. I do see the problem. Anybody point to me what the problem is? The big, huge hole in the exhaust system. Just there. So, yes. almost impossible to get to in the car. I mean, basically the car comes down here with a heat shield, and yeah, you can't get to it. So it's basically all tucked up behind here, and you can see there's some soot there where it's been blowing. They're nice to work on, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we want to do more of the GR stuff. I like working on them. Sean likes working on them. The boys like working on them. Mike likes mapping them. So yeah, let's do some more and see if we can get a bit more power out of this one whilst we're here, because we've got a gearbox now that isn't going to explode when we give it 450, 500 foot-pounds. So that is the goal now, is to put the gearbox on it and send it a bit more through the mid-range. So this is Aaron's Drenth sequential gearbox for his GR Yaris, and it looks pretty cool. Fairly happy with it. Uses the kind of half of the gearbox from Toyota, and then the Drenth part with all their gear set on the back end. It's not like the X-Shift where it's all got like a billet stuff on the inside. This is an OEM part, so don't think it'll be as strong, but I think it'll be just as good. So from Drenth you get obviously gearbox, all the fitting stuff, the Bowden cable for the shifter, you get the shifter, the mount, the bracket, your rally style display, some USB cables. But this is the third sequential gearbox that we've fitted to a GR Yaris, and they're getting easier. We'll need the transfer case off of the original gearbox, so that's going to have to come up, and then we'll have to build the studs and stuff off of the other gearbox and put on this one. Needs the clutch slave as well, and we need to run a clutch line out somewhere. So let's go out to the car and have a quick look. So I'm just finishing off Aaron's car. I've got the under tray to put on, but what I wanted to talk to you guys about is how we track and make sure every single nut and bolt is done up before the car leaves us. So I'm going to take you underneath and I'll show you how we do it. So every single nut and bolt on Aaron's car has been done up and torqued and then marked with a pen. So the gearbox has been off, so I can track now who done all of these bolts up, because it has a yellow pen and I know that was Sean. If you look on the engine where I built the engine, I've got a white pen, and everything that's been torqued and done up has got a white mark on it. That's the easiest way to track who's working on the car, who's also liable for working on the car. So if we find something loose, then I can actually go to that person and be like, right, this is the problem. Why is this not tight? It's just a way of tracking and making somebody accountable for their work. And we always want to provide a really good service to you guys out there. We also want to make sure everything is done up and torqued correctly and it is safe. So that's why we mark everything. That's how we track who's working on the car, who's doing stuff up. And we all of us here have got different coloured pens, so we know who's who. So that's one way of keeping everything safe. The other thing we do is obviously got the workshop manual for the GR Yaris, and that's cool, so we can do every single nut and bolt up exactly like factory. So yeah, little safety tip there. If you're doing bolts up and nuts up, make sure you torque them, make sure you mark them, and make sure somebody's accountable, because then you can go to that person if they screw up and do the necessary discipline if need be. I do like unboxing though. It's like Christmas every day.
Aaron decided to go with the EBC big brake kit for his GR Yaris. Sean's just checking some fitment here, and then we've got a clean hub with brake paste on the back of the disc, and then we've got the disc fitted in the correct rotation.
So this is Aaron's GR Yaris, now being fitted with a Drenth sequential gearbox. If you've got 15 grand to blow on a sequential gearbox for a GR, do it. That is the only thing I can say to you, is bite the bullet and do it. The transformation of how the car drives, once it's got the sequential fitted, is probably the biggest transformation you'll get with the car. You can have loads of power, and if you leave it on the H-pattern gearbox, you'll find that it is still fun to drive, don't get me wrong, but it is not like this. This is a whole different level of drivability, how fast it makes the car and what you can do with the car out on track and how you can manipulate the car to dance around a bit more because you have the sequential in there. Sometimes you might find you come up to a corner and you either can't get it into the right gear or you're struggling to find what gear is the right gear for that corner. With the close ratio sequential Drenth gearbox, it's slightly closer than the X-Shift and you just get that little bit more finesse going into a corner and predicting what gear you need to be in that corner. So yeah, if you've got 15 grand to blow on a sequential gearbox or a GR, do it, because you will not be disappointed. It's one of the best modifications you can make to the car, and you'll see as we're out on the road what it is really like to drive, and actually easier to drive and easier to drive on the limit as well. So there's loads of good factors and positives to putting the Drenth or X-Shift or sequential gearbox in the GR.
Now the brakes are installed and the sequential gearbox, let's take this GR Yaris out for a test drive. Anti-lag mode enabled, off the throttle, go! Wow! Wow! Whoa! What fun is this? Right, we've got a bit of space now. I'm just going to hit it a little bit in second and third. I'm going to come off this roundabout. We're going to go for it. Woo! I mean, how quick are them gear changes? They are snappy. They are like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it is so snappy. And then coming down the gearbox, say coming up this roundabout, no clutch, just a punch, palm of your hand. It's that easy to go up and down the gearbox. So I'm in anti-lag mode now. I'm just gonna come off the throttle. You ready? Let's go! Let's go! Woo! Listen to that anti-lag. How cool is that? We've actually got boost off throttle when we lift off. We put it to cal 4, lift off the throttle. And we've got boost, boys, off throttle. That is insane. I just want to do it again. I want to do it again. Look, we lift off the throttle, real anti-lag, and then let's go. Oh my God! This car is nuts. It is no joke. It is absolutely nuts. With that cal 4 anti-lag setting, just listen to it. It's actually pulling the car along. So we've got throttle open and fueling, but we've got boost. We've got boost ready to go straight away. That's how insane this car is, that you can come off the throttle and you've still got boost, so when you stab the throttle to come out of a corner, it's there. You're not even waiting for it to spool the turbo, it's already there. So what else could you want on a track car to have real anti-lag? But the noises the car makes, the feeling of the car, how enjoyable this whole experience is immense. It's absolutely immense. So, Aaron, yeah, thank you for letting us carry out the work for you, and I really hope you enjoy the end result, because it's immense. It's the only words that I can describe it. The car feels so solid and rigid and pointy and just amazing. So, Aaron, yeah, thank you. Enjoy this car. It's going to treat you well, and you're going to have a lot of fun in it. I wish the roads weren't so busy, but they are busy today. But I'm happy we've done a good 20-minute drive in the car, and I feel confident to give it back to you. Now it's actually gone through our testing procedure, dyno work, and out in the real world on the road. Well, I just want to hit it again. I just want to do a little second gear hit. Anti-lag mode enabled, off the throttle, go! is too much fun. I don't want to take it back to the workshop, but I'm really running out of fuel. So what an experience this is. So it's insane. It's insane.
So my conclusion on Aaron's GR Yaris is it's sick, isn't it? It is absolutely sick. Anti-lag, the engine rips, the gearbox is awesome, the brakes are sharp, the suspension's well dialed in. So it is absolutely sick little GR Yaris, and it's going to rip round track. It's going to be incredible. I mean, Aaron's already offered me an invitation to the next track day, and I am definitely taking you up on it, Aaron. I'm definitely coming to that track day, and you can scare the hell out of me. So that is it from the video. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Make sure you put comments down in the bottom if you want to see more GR stuff, if you want to know about what gearbox is going to be right, what ratios are going to be right, what turbo is going to be right for the GR, or if you want just normal service work for the GR Yaris. Put the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, including the notification bell, and then you will get a notification on YouTube when another video comes up. One last thing I need to talk to you about is merch. So make sure you go on the website. There's t-shirts with SRD, become part of the gang. There's my one there that we use. We've got t-shirt sizes from child, from like 3 years of age to 12. We've also got, you know, small, medium, large, extra large, all the normal sizes, and hoodies as well. Make sure you get a hoodie. Would you like a hoodie? Yeah. Turn around again. Turn around. They're really good quality. They're nice and like heavy, keep you nice and warm. Good logo on the back and the front. Extra pocket on the front as well. But they are just really good quality. They keep us nice and warm over winter. So make sure, go on the website and go and buy some merch. So guys, from me and from all of us here at SRD Tuning, we will see you on the next one. Peace out.